Love, light, peace, and abundance. And welcome to Poetry Unraveled. I am Queen Essence. I am your host for this evening. If you are new here, let me be the first to welcome you. Thank you for coming to share space. If you are returning, hey, welcome back. Um, so today is February 6th, if I recall. Yep, February 6th. And before I started recording, I was having a thought like, wow, we really are already in the second month. Like 2025 just got here and we are already in February. And it feels like January went by like that. And so much has happened. So much has happened in January. I know just for me personally, so much has unfolded, so much awareness, so much clarity, even some resistance trying to get up in there too. I was like, oh, okay, a little spicy around here. Um, However, much has taken place from the standpoint of growth and evolution, and I'm grateful for it all. And worldwide, there has been quite a bit taking place as well, and we did touch on that last episode. And speaking of last episode, I don't know if you noticed, but this week I have on these earphones because last week we had a whole glitch in the matrix with the sound. Like last week's episode was so great. It was so great. It was so many downloads that was coming in and so much was being shared. And then there was a technical difficulty. However, we know everything happens in divine design and everything happens in divine alignment. So what was necessary to get out to the public is what was recorded, and the rest that needed to be transmitted energetically was muted. So we receive and accept. However, to ensure that I do my part so that that doesn't happen again, um, from the part that I can control, you know what I mean? I'm wearing my headphones again because I can hear myself, and hopefully I'll be able to tell if something is muted or not. We're going to see. However, I'm back to wearing them. However, nevertheless, it is my will that you are experiencing elevated expressions of happiness, of peace, of joy, of fulfillment, of contentment, of peace, right? I'm sure that many of us are having different thoughts and experiences pertaining to what is taking place nationwide. I simply recommend that we stay grounded, do any exercises that help keep you like grounded, rooted, balanced in your thoughts and in your emotions. If you need to unplug from social media for a while, I recommend you do that. If you need to put your phone on D&D, I recommend you do that. Going for walks in nature, highly recommend it. Even just sitting on your front porch, like just sitting on your front stoop when the sun is shining, just taking in the fresh air, will really do a lot to help regulate your nervous system and your energetic body as well. Especially if you take a walk in nature, very beneficial for regulating your energetic body and grounding you. So, willfully, one or several of those will be beneficial to you. So, there has been multiple ideas that have been coming in for me to share, and I'm going to allow the channel to just be open for what is most prevalent in the collective energetic field to come through, and then we will go from there. And as usual, I have some poems that I'm gonna choose from for the selection at the completion. And it is my will that it reaches those that it is intended for, to inspire, activate, initiate, and yeah, yeah. Excuse me, my thoughts. So yes, We'll do that at the end. Now, one of the ideas that came in for me to express is the power of authenticity, the power and necessity for us to do and be what resonates with us. I've heard a few people express the idea that authenticity is a higher frequency than love. And although I do understand why they expressed it that way, I don't necessarily agree. However, I do think that it is highly probable that if energetically it had to be presented as something physical, they could be two sides of the same coin, right? And the reason why I say that is because in order for us to really get to the point where we are truly loving ourselves and then exuding and emitting that frequency outward for others to experience, we have to be real with ourselves, right? We have to get to a point where we are being authentic with self. That means evaluate, you know what I mean? What it is that we hold as important or valuable or a priority and determine why that is. Is it something that has been taught to us, something that has been imprinted on us, something that we have been influenced to consider as priority or necessity? Or is it something that resonates with us? Oftentimes, the development of us being here on this planet has caused us to be impacted in ways that our conscious mind has yet to catch up to. And it is written in our subconscious. And every day we're playing out this subconscious script that affects our day to day life. And then we wonder why we're experiencing what we're experiencing. When we operate from authenticity and we are real with ourselves, then we're able to unpack and identify several of the things that have been imprinted and written on our subconscious. And then we're willing to then go into motion to take the steps to erase, remove, make peace with, or clear from our subconscious to then write on clear pages. It takes a lot of strength and courage to travel this path, right, of authenticity and being real with yourself, because it's not many people in the collective that's doing it. So it's going to look strange to some people, because whenever you're doing something outside of the norm, right? If everybody is going left and you decide to go right, you look like the odd man out. You look like the weirdo, the black sheep, the crazy one, right? However, despite what other people may say and what other people might think and the projections that they may send your way, it takes strength and courage to continue to go left. Excuse me, to go right when everyone else is going left. It takes strength and courage to identify parts of yourself that are not high vibrational. They're not pleasant. They're not lovable, right? You don't even love them. So why would you expect somebody else to love those parts of yourself? You don't love them and you're ashamed of them, you know? And that's okay, because that's a natural part of being human. However, to grow to the point because of being authentic, we realize that we don't have to be shameful. We don't have to be embarrassed, because this is part of the process that our soul or entity or spirit agreed to go through so that we can get to the point of truly remembering to who it is that we are, to live the purpose that we came here to live. Authenticity is going to be a valuable asset moving forward, right? Because everything that as a collective we know is changing and it's shifting and it's happening quickly. I was speaking with a friend of mine the other day. We were having dinner and I was sharing that I, I look at what's happening happening from a different lens than most people, right? And I don't tend to have many conversations with people because I don't want to trigger anybody to get to a space that they're not ready for, right? However, I view what is taking place as what has been prophesied, like what we have been told was going to happen and what many of us have been waiting for, like looking forward to and reading the signs that there will come a time where the head shall be the tail and the tail shall be the head. And throughout history, many civilizations have crumbled, right? Many kingdoms have fallen for other kingdoms to rise, right? And it's going to be important that those of us that have the courage, that have the strength, that have the awareness, really stand in our authenticity, because we're going to be the answers to many of what is going to be searched for, you know, because the old. Okay, I don't want to interrupt the train of thought, but I do want to say I am working on with StreamYard to figure out what's happening with the signal, because I have all my bars, I have a strong strength, but in StreamYard it doesn't translate that way. So that is being worked with. So I appreciate your patience as I continue to resolve this issue. However, the point or the idea that was coming through is that um, there everything that is familiar is about to get flipped and turned upside down, and people as a collective are going to be looking for answers, for clarity, for comfort, for guidance, for support, and for things to fill in the gaps of that which once stood, right? And there's some in the collective that have been building and developing and strengthening not just themselves, however, an idea that has been placed within them or they've been cultivating across lifetimes to shine in this time of where we are right now in America. And it's not even just America, it is universally. However, we'll say America for now. And there are many that are working on projects and systems, and as many people who are have gardens, I mean, have farms that are growing food, and it's so many like fractions that are actually in place that I it resonates with me and the connection that I have to the Most High, that there's going to come a time where these fractions are going to merge, and what's going to allow for the fractions to merge together seamlessly and harmoniously is that each fraction is operating in authenticity, right? No longer cloaking, no longer hiding, no longer operating from old residual energies from past lifetimes where we had to conceal our identity, right? We had to dim our light for a multitude of reasons, right? I'm sure that many of you can think back to your childhood and think about something about you that was unique to you. And there were adults around that were sharing things that caused you to feel like, well, maybe I shouldn't express this, or maybe I shouldn't be this way, or maybe I shouldn't do that. And it caused you to build a defense mechanism that um there was a word that I was going to say and then it escaped me. However, it programs you to dim your light, right? Without you consciously knowing. Again, back to those subconscious programming, right? So you turn down your light so that you didn't have the experience that you were having from the adults that were around you, that was causing you to feel as though whatever it was that you were expressing was not in time. Like, you should not do that. You should not be that way. And that's just in this lifetime, right? That's just an example of this lifetime. And then you grew and evolved, and that area of self did not evolve because it was tucked away behind the protective wall and protective doors. And that's why it's important for us to also, in this journey of being authentic and expressing authenticity, we revisit our inner child. Many of us, our inner child has been tucked away for safety reasons, right? Because our inner child holds all of the keys, all of the keys, the innocence, the joy, the happiness, the peace, the love, the authenticity, and even the abundance, right? And we realize that that child is tucked away. So now we have to figure out what are the layers behind, or what are the layers that stand between me and my inner child, and start to do the work to unpack, right? And we have to revisit. And I would say go back in time. However, in actuality, existence is not linear, right? And since it's not linear, then it's not like a back and forth type of thing. If you can think of a spiral, I think of it like we are always evolving and elevating, going up. And because of that, it causes us to like go back around an area that is familiar that we've already experienced. And most would say it's like going backwards, but it's not. It's a convergence point where you are aware of your past, however, you're also in your present, and you can get a glimpse of your future. So in that moment, you realize different things pertaining to your life that affected you and caused you to have a necessity to protect your inner child. And then you start to unpack it. And now you look at it from the level of awareness that you have now in the present as an adult, and you rationalize and you reason, and then you're able to elevate that and then extract the divinity in it. Because again, everything happens for a reason. We spoke about this in the last episode, that everything happens for a reason. Like nothing happens by coincidence or happenstance. And if we truly believe that, if we truly trust that and know that to be the reality, then it is to our benefit to look at each situation of what we experienced in our childhood and recognize what was gained from that, and how did it serve me, and how does it connect to the big picture of what I'm here for, the plan for my life and the unfolding of it. And that causes us to tap more into our authenticity, right? Because now we're getting back to the essence, to the core of who we are, not who adulting condition us to be, or society condition us to be, or these structures condition us to be, but who we were when we were in our innocence and operating from full freedom, right? Being free. I remember times of being a child, like being outside in the yard and making mud pies, right? And just having the time of my life, right? Like utilizing my imagination. I'm cooking in the kitchen, and I'm making this meal for my children. And you know, there's a freedom that we experience in our childhood that many of us was robbed from. It was taken from us. And many of us in ways that have been so detrimental to us in our adulthood, that many of us have found it challenging to find our way back, right? I implore us to view what has taken place from a higher perspective, so that we can really see things through the eyes of Source, if Source was to have eyes, right? However, see it from a divine perspective and ask ourselves, why would this be allowed to take place, right? The Most High knows me, right? Because I'm a child of the Most High. I'm a fraction of the Most High. I am the Most High embodied. I am Source embodied. So, what about this situation was I supposed to receive to add to me on my journey to remembering who I am and why I came here? And when we frame it that way, or any other way that resonates with you, right? Any way that resonates with you to explore deeper than the surface and beyond the emotions and the feelings of the situation, will place us in a position of where we take back our power, right? We regain our power because we understand that nothing was done to us, it was done for us. It was a form of um, what's coming to my mind is burning. It is fire is coming to my mind, and I'm thinking about the welder, right? And I feel like there's a parable in the Bible that's like faintly in my mind. Um, However, the idea is that we go through the refiner's fire, right? And it burns away impurities. And many of us have gone through fires time and time again to be refined. However, part of that refining process was to remove the impurities, right? To cause the impurities to be right in front of us for us to be able to see eye to eye, right? To be able to look at, to identify, and to make peace with it, and then release it with the higher understanding that even if I don't understand why this was prevented now, I know it was done or allowed for a reason. And as I continue to remember and awaken to who I am and reestablish the divine connection to source, not through the ways that someone else says that it should be, however, the way that it resonates with me as me being a child of the Most High, by me being a reflection of the Most High, me being the Most High embodied, right? And me pursuing that, it places me on a path to where these human experiences have so much more meaning, so much more substance, excuse me, confirmation verbs, um, than what I had originally seen when I was operating on the levels prior to where I am now, right? Because life is about evolution and expansion and growth, right? Until we get to the point where we're more aware of what's happening. And then it really gets fun with the evolution and the growth and really standing in our power and shining our light. Aside from this podcast, I have a business called Shine Your Light 777. And I remember when I first started Shine Your Light, um, she was my baby. She was my baby that I poured all of what I was growing through and what I was learning on this spiritual journey and what I had learned into videos and just freely expressing myself. And I had gotten to the point where I established a spiritual, energetic healing business. And I would have clients where I would clear their aura fields and balance their chakras and give them communications from their higher selves. And the motivation behind starting it was I wanted to assist others in shining their light because I understand that so many of us are um, keys to unlocking the beauty and the greatness that is available here in this creation. And the more that we shine our light, the less darkness will be present. And the more of us will feel safe and comfortable and confident and nurtured and assured that it's okay to be seen. It's okay to break loose. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let go. It is okay to feel, right? And to be. And I added 777. It's Shine Your Light 777. And I added the 777 because Seven resonated as a number of spirituality, a number of divinity, a number of God. And anything in three is complete because it's the spiritual, the mental, and the physical, right? And we all acknowledge, no matter what you believe or what practices you have, that the Most High is complete. So three represents complete, it represents wholeness. So, what better way to add a vibrational signature that's in alignment with source than to add that? And then it also reflected myself, right? Because I operate on all three levels in alignment with source. So, um, the idea of us operating in authenticity has been something that's been ingrained in me for some time. And I share that about my business because um, it's important that we understand that shining our light, it is so important that one person decided that she would do all within her power to assist others in shining their light, to assist others in reconnecting to source in whatever way that looks like. Like, I'm not pushing no agenda. I'm not pushing for nobody to do what I do, to see it the way that I see it. I genuinely want to spark in you what's already there, that's ready to be awakened at this time, because your unique expression, it's needed. Your expression of the Most High is needed to add to this beautiful tapestry that's being woven throughout creation. And if I can be a part of your journey to assist you, to support you, to hold space, I would be honored to do so. And I will be living in alignment with the divine blueprint that I have, that I am. So it is my will that something of what has been shared resonates with the essence of you, and that you find benefit to do something with what has been shared that will assist you in shining your light, reconnecting with your inner child, showing up in full authenticity, being you unapologetically, and releasing and letting go so that you can see this existence from a higher perspective. So we are already at 28 minutes, and I am going to uh, read one of my poems because I do not have it memorized. And I think I'll do this one. This one is entitled Rooted in Resilience, and I'll put it over here. That weight I carried was way too heavy for me to act like this assignment wasn't given divinely. As I'm being guided, I rise from despair, stepping out of the shadows into the light, confidence soaring in my spirit's flight. As I walk through the remnants of hell, my path is lit by the lessons that swell. You know, afterlife gave me all she had to test my truth. Bellows of wind whipping my chin up beneath the roof. I stood strong, didn't evacuate. It's woven in my DNA. One foot in front of the other, I carry my mother's, clearing the line, gifts divine in their covers. With every step, their strength feeds my soul, anchoring my truth as I embrace my whole. When you listen to my speech, understand this comes from deep within my heart, born from the depths of dark. I face my fears, carving out space, transforming pain into strength, releasing that which disturbed me, and shedding all that didn't deserve me. Divine union within now successfully established. By myself, I put that work in. Now I'm in balance, living a life in flow. I chose not to deviate from what I know truly counts. You know, when no one's around, the words out my mouth, the resonating sound of honesty, innocence, and its purity. With my heart open wide, I embrace my truth. This strength is rooted in my mother's proof. Rewards are coming. I'm eager to see the abundant blessings the Most High has in store for me. So that completes our episode for this evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love, light, and peace, y'all.